Happy Monday.
Doing? Hello, Ann. How are you? Colette, how are you? I know my lens looks a little foggy. I don't know what's going on there. It's been one of those days. Hello, Anna. How are you? Kathy, how's it going?
It's like a haze. Maybe it's that aura of yours.
No, it's probably you. Contaminating my aura. Hello, Veronica. Teresa, how are you? How's everyone doing? Happy Monday. We had something cool happen to us earlier. We went to Walmart to get a new TV, and we're walking around, and this guy like stops and he points, and he's like, "I love your paranormal stuff." I said, "Oh yeah."
Stopped and we're like looking like, what?
I'm like, "Oh yeah, you watch?" He goes, "Yeah, it's great. I love it." So that was kind of cool to have that happen. I think again, it was, you never know what people are going to say, whether they like it or not. But he's like, "I watch it." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool." Hey, Nora, how are you? Yeah, Robinson. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Jason Hawes interview coming up on Thursday. That's been about a month in the planning. Hello, Brian. Hope Ann's feeling better.
Yes.
Nancy, how are you? So yeah, we went to the Robinson Saturday night. It was our first event of 2024, which is bizarre. That is the first. Seemed like we just finished like last week.
We did. That's what it feels like.
Here we are, the first of many. Hello, Brandon. How are you? So it was a short one, 3 hours. We only go there once a year, and I hope you enjoyed it because it might be the last one we do there. So it was a good night. A lot of familiar faces, old friends getting together. That's the cool thing about what we do and what we have and what we created is that a lot of people know each other, and they get along and they talk to each other. And when they see each other again, especially after it's been 2 months since we did an event, you could tell, they, how you doing? How you been? And then it's time to start and everybody gets into it and everybody
Well,
gets
the funny
ready.
thing is I was talking to a few people and it was just like it seems like you guys haven't done events forever. Like it's been a long, long time. And really, it's only been a handful of weeks. We did it in December
16th, I think, was our last.
No, we had something else, didn't we?
How was it? December.
So,
literally December, January, February, almost 2 months. It didn't seem like long to us at all. So, especially when, again, this week we're off, thank God. It's going to be a nice weekend. And then Then we go to Van Horn for the next one. So again, haven't been there in a while. We only do it once a year. And for those of you who haven't been there, it's a relatively small building. And what was cool when I posted the pictures of the event, there's a sign that says walk gently on the floors. They're 325 years old. And they are. I mean, the wood in that building.
On history.
Yeah. I mean, the wood in that building goes back to the late 1600s.
It's the oldest standing structure in New Jersey.
Yeah, it goes back to the late 1600s.
Yeah, it was built.
All original.
Started building it in 1689.
Yeah, it wasn't like these other buildings that have addition after addition built onto it, like century after century. It's just that's the original building. So we were only there for 3 hours, and I was in the basement, which was cold. I heard the second floor was cold as well. Chris was by the fire, so she was kind of fortunate.
She was the princess.
She gets the star treatment for some reason.
It wasn't just me. It was 2 other team members.
Yeah. But interesting things happened in the basement. Like in previous times, there was a young boy in the basement. There's 2 different parts of the basement. There's a part that's kind of sectioned off where you can see the windows that go into it, but you can't go into it. It's like crawl space or whatever. But this time there was the boy and someone who referred to himself as Doug, which was different. And one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me, that's why I love doing this, because you never know. Even if you've been in a building 100 times, you just don't know. And this time it was one of the apps that I had running for the first time ever said my name, which was really, really cool. We're in the middle of a group and it said John. And I'm like, did that say my name? And then on Spirit Box, literally less than 5 minutes later, my name came through again.
Oh, that's unusual.
That's really, really cool.
On 2 different things too,
really
right?
Really cool. Yeah. Oh. And again, I tell people, you can attribute a lot of things to coincidence or false positives or anything like that. But like that kind of interaction where somebody intelligently is saying your name, that's pretty cool.
It's intimidating too.
Not for me. It was like, hey, somebody's been listening to me.
See you. That bothers me. We actually did something a little different this time, because the first floor is very small, and we were able 2 rooms that are active. We've been there without doing events, and those 2 rooms were active, but we were just never able to do them because what we do on the first floor, like John said, it's old and it's small, and there is no insulation between floors, so you hear everything on the second floor, you hear everything in the basement, so they could hear us on the first floor. And so that was why it was critical that it was really difficult to do what we did. And we decided to try it. We went in that room because a little girl tends to appear there, and this time a soldier came through, and he was directing an individual, told them that he died, that he was murdered by a woman, and that to step forth, this is exact words, step forth, turn left, turn right. It was like he was trying to instruct him how to find him. And it blew me away. I was really, really shocked. Really shocked. That's the first time that ever came up.
I'm getting sidetracked here because I'm seeing something on Facebook and StreamYard that I've never seen before.
What?
They actually have them bring them on video feature now, to where you don't, I guess, have to send this StreamYard link anymore.
Just click it.
You just hit. That's pretty cool. I never noticed that before. So in the future, when we're doing this, if anybody wants to come on and talk about their experiences or whatever, I could just hit the bring them on video and pop them right up on the feed, which is pretty cool. But yeah, like I said, it's a small building. You walk in the main door, and to your left is one bigger room that has the fireplace in it. That's always going when we do this in February. Then there's 2 little rooms adjacent to that room. Then you go down the basement, stairs go down the basement, and that's a fairly decent sized room. And then you go upstairs, and there's another decent sized room.
And it's not made for tall people either.
No.
If you're tall, you got to duck a lot.
and like I said, there was some cool stuff happened down there. It was kind of like on and off. And one of the weirdest things happened. Something happened in the neighborhood. I don't want to even allude to where, because you never know with people. Something happened in the neighborhood that was very tragic. I'm not going to talk about where or what happened. We asked if anyone present in the building was aware of what happened there and who was involved. I'm trying to be really, really vague here because I don't want to get in trouble. And a name came through, first name, last name of the perpetrator, right? Of this bad thing that happened. And no, this person wasn't caught. They never caught the person who did this thing. You could Google whatever if you want to, and Clark. And first name, last name. So I haven't looked it up yet. I haven't really done any kind of search on it, but it was really, really cool on the spirit box to ask a question and get a first and last name.
Yeah, it's not usual.
No, never happened. And I'm very, very curious about it, but I don't want to dig too deep because, you know, there's sensitivities because whatever we're alluding to wasn't that long ago.
No.
So I'm sure there are family members.
And it's still unresolved.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, it's a sore point.
But again, people were bringing this up, including the director of the building, this thing that happened in the area. And that's why somebody brought it up during the investigation. And came through.
Well, it was funny because one of out of the two rooms, the two little side rooms that we're in, the one portion encased in glass to the back of the wall is all of the instruments and medical bottles and stuff of the doctor who was there, who treated, everybody. He treated everybody in that area. He was the first doctor there. And all of the stuff, and everybody's back was to it, and nobody was paying attention. And all of a sudden, this voice comes through on your thing. It goes, "Turn around." It was like it told everybody to turn around and look at the day. Like it was like, because we were all saying, "Who are you? What do you do? What are you?" And just I said, "Turn around," like in an aggressive voice, and like turn around, and there's all of his stuff. It was like hysterical, like, "Hey, idiots, just turn around and look. You'll see what I am and what I do. It's all right there in front of you." It's like we got called out for being ditzy.
Well, again, all in all, it was, again, for the first event of the year, with the fireplace and everything, it's a pretty cool event to do. And it's quick, and it's good for us to just get back in on a shorter event just to get used to doing it again. And it was with a lot of people we knew that are watching right now. We're probably there. And it's like a quick reunion of friends, like here we are, we're together again
in a quaint
after
little
2 or 3 months in the middle of whatever, and then dark and it's cold. And like I said, I don't know if hey Wendy, if we're going to be going back there again. I highly doubt it, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. We got a lot more
Veronica, it was fun, wasn't it?
Hi
Patricia.
We got a lot more coming. I'll tell you one really funny thing, and I don't want to embarrass her, but I don't know if she's watching. Tracy is, pretty funny. Tracy doesn't want to do things alone when you ask her to stand somewhere alone, or she's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So this time, the first time she was there, the little boy or whoever was really, really interested in her and kind of going near her. So I wanted to recreate that to see if it would happen again. So I had her sit in a chair in the corner. She wouldn't stay alone. So her husband, Joe, who's a good guy, stood behind her in the doorway. And sure enough, she's there and a figure is right next to her. Big guy. This wasn't a child. This was a big guy.
Off of SOS?
And we turn on the spirit box, ask the question, who is the big guy? Who is this person? Clear as day, everybody heard it. Doug. Okay, you're Doug. Doug was ringing the bell by her. Doug was standing by her. And I'm looking through the SLS and I couldn't see Tracy sitting upright in the chair. All I could see it was weird what I was looking at, and I couldn't see because it was dark. And I said to people, is she like hunched over? And they're like, yeah. She was like,
she was scared. Aww.
she was like this. And I said, Tracy, put out your hand so Doug can touch it. And she's like, and it was pretty funny, but he was very interested in her. And that's the kind of cool thing about what we do too, is that you don't ever know.
Well, we kept I came out of the 2 rooms when they had the bigger group in there, and I came out where they were doing the metaphysical stuff, and I was standing there, and I didn't react the first few times, but a shadow went by the window, and those window panes are kind of like they're not clear. They're like what would you call them? Frosted, yeah. Kind of. So you can't really see very clearly out there, and they have spotlights out on the grounds, and I kept seeing a shadow going by that one little window off to the corner where we were, and I was just like, it could be anything, right? Just maybe someone's walking out there from the neighborhood or something. You just never know. Maybe someone's curious if their cars are back here. And then all of a sudden, Colleen reacted. Like she went, and I said, you saw that too? And she goes, yes. So I immediately went to the director and said, do you have neighbors that walk the grounds at night? Is there somebody who could be out there? And he goes, no. And he literally, there's a door right there. Opened up the door. There's nobody there. Walked around the building. Nobody there. So we don't know what was walking back and forth through that window. And people were saying that they saw it too when they were sitting there.
I mean, again, what originally got us into that building years and years ago was I lived in Rahway, which is the adjacent town, for many, many years. I drove by that building, can't tell you how many times, and I knew it was old, and I reached out to the director, and I'm like, this may sound like a weird question, but do you ever have any kind of weird paranormal stuff going on there? And at first he mentioned a ton of orbs on the property, and I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then he mentioned, I've seen apparitions here. And he mentioned 2 different times where he had seen them. And I said, well, that's worth looking into. And that was 10 years ago, you know?
Yeah.
And you know, one of the great things too, we were all there. It was me, Chris, Tanya Kenny, Colleen, Danielle, and we also had Charlie Bucket with us. my young protege, Samantha, Sam was there. And I love hanging out with Sam. If you don't know who Sam is, she comes on our events. She's Danielle's daughter. She has red hair. Sam is one of the smartest kids who you'll ever meet. And I got to hang out with her downstairs the whole night. And we joked back and forth, and she's really into it. And she was getting engaged. And then afterwards we go out to eat, and I get to talk to her about movies. And she's just funny. You know, Sam, we've known Sam since she was 11 years old. And you know how you have your mother from another brother type of thing. Sam is my daughter from another mother, I guess. But love that kid. And she's not a kid anymore, but it's always great having her around. You know,
wish she could be around more. She has. Well.
So that was the first one of many. And the next one is the Van Horn. The only ones that have tickets available currently are Centenary University. I think the April 27th only has like 2 spots left.
Really?
Maybe 2 or 3. And then there's the June event and August, and there's like 4 other events there. But I think the April one only has a few. So if you're interested in an event that has tickets available, that's the only one. The April, and then the others for Centenary University. Interviews, like I said, Jason Hawes is going to be on Thursday, and Jason, I really like Jason. Jason's one of the most honest, too honest. These interviews with Jason, and he'll attest to this. I always say to him, I text him before, we're confirming our interview, and the first time, this time, I say to him, anything you don't want to talk about, anything that's off limits, and no, ask me whatever you want. Now, me, when I talk to a guy like Jason, just like when I talk to John Safis, these are the guys who have been around a long time, like we have. They've done a lot of things, not just the TV stuff, but they've done real hardcore cases, you know? And that's something that people don't really talk to guys like that about. We did a little bit with John last time, and I want to do more of that with Jason this time. I want to talk about the case we talked about with John, where the satanic cult.
We want to get into the nitty gritty of those things, the things that we normally don't get to hear and listen about, and they don't talk about those things.
No,
they
because
talk
it's
about
the
like
past
the
for
show,
them.
or they forget about the meats and potatoes of what was before, and those things got some meat on the bone. They're interesting.
So I want to get into that along with, of course, whatever your guys' questions are, but that's what fascinates me. That stuff fascinates me, and just opinions on theories and different things that we all talk about, spirit guides and whatever, magic rocks and things like that.
I think I did okay. I know
you did great.
Colleen did really good.
I told you
I was very proud of
but
Colleen.
Behind the scenes, a little behind the curtain, for you people who don't know, I wasn't banned from that conversation. I didn't really feel well. I hurt my hip.
Yeah, I said you weren't.
I completely threw my hip out. I threw my back out. But I know I wasn't really going to be a good person to have on that conversation too. I knew she could handle it, and she did fantastic. Colleen did great because Colleen knows everything about the subject. But when I first said my back hurts or whatever, and we're setting up there, someone literally walked me into the room and then shut the door. And I knew that meant don't come out because you're not welcome.
I didn't want him to make light or joke or anything.
And I respected it enough. I wouldn't have done that even if I was here. But
I would have heard him snickering in there.
So I would have been a bit of a different conversation because I would have.
Thank you, Teresa.
I would have taken the other side of the. But I think it went great. You did a great job, and Colleen was fantastic.
Colleen was really good. She shared so much and stuff that was.
This is what makes this whole thing unique and different is that everyone's going to have different perspectives, different beliefs, different.
You have to. We're all different.
Different backgrounds, and that's what makes this whole thing great. Is that we're different in a lot of what we believe and what we think. But I love her. And I respect everything that she believes. And do I go in the other room and shake my head and go, that's nuts?
All the time.
Sure.
All the time with me, he shakes his
head. But I don't disrespect her and tell her it's stupid and that whatever, all that. No, I would never do that. Because I do have an open mind enough to know that, hey, maybe there's a 0.0000000.1% chance that I could be wrong. There is
you got
always
that right.
There is that 1 in a million shot in the dark that could hit a target. It could happen.
And 0.000.1 that I could be right.
Yeah, I know. I do got to be careful, David, and I am very careful. That's why I didn't fight it. I watched a little bit from the other room and saw how great she was doing and how great Colin. The only thing I will say that I fixate on things. And
you do.
I totally fixated on that dead moose or deer on the wall. I kept looking at it and looking because I'm an animal lover.
Oh, and
I hate taxidermy. I hate animals being harmed. And I kept every time she'd walk and she'd stand under the moose. And I'm just like, get away from the damn moose or the deer. You know, it just bothered me. Anyway, I have lots of orbs around my house. World camera, wondering if you have any thoughts.
Can't fix his brain, people. It's not going to happen.
We've talked about orbs before. In most cases, excuse me, orbs are either dust or bugs, especially if it's an outdoor camera. A lot of stuff blowing around and that ring cameras catch. But are there occasions where orbs are spirit energy? Sure. But in most cases, it's dust or bugs. That's, again, I'd have to see them. I'd have to really see what the camera's pointed at and what's going on around there because people send me videos all the time of their backyard. And
I like Patricia's
and I see a bunch of orbs flying around what they think are orbs, and it really is dust. And it's just
I love
Steve Barry is stalking me. Did you see that?
Yes. I love Patricia's statement that you're not wearing black, you're rocking yellow. So is it because due to the sunshine?
Oh, it's actually, I really don't have a reason for, want to hear a funny story about color real quick. We'll get off topic and then back topic on again. My car, I had to get a new car.
Yeah.
And I got a Kia Soul again because I like the Kia Soul. And they didn't have black. Black is my favorite color. I like the color black. All of my jeans are dark. All of my shirts are dark. I wear a dark hat. I love my black car. I love it. They didn't have black. So then we look at red because New Jersey Paranormal colors, black, red, yellow. Red didn't look good in the Kia Soul. Not to me, not to Chris. And then they had what we referred to as the Barbie car, which was the color of her sweater.
With a black top. It looked like a Barbie
total
car.
Young female car, whatever, and or just not for me. So we weren't getting the Barbie car. So then they show us the color burnt orange. Never knew there was such a color. Burnt orange in the showroom. Now I know when she likes things, she's not, when she likes something, she tells you she likes it. And she's not like, well, I don't know, maybe. She just says, I like that. And I'm looking at her, she's like looking at the car, and she goes, this has flavor. And I'm like, I hate the word flavor, by the way. And flavor means it's just not a whatever. And so
would you prefer it spicy?
So I'm looking at it now. I'm kind of forcing myself to like it, because I know she likes it, and she kept talking about, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to get this car, and I still, people said it looked like kidney apple red, or it looks more
no
red.
it looks like a dark red, almost like a brown red type of thing. It's
bronze,
not that,
yeah, bronze is
it's not a
I don't like
bright orange, burnt orange. It's a darker color.
I'm trying to get used to it. I'm forcing it, but
yeah,
pumpkin, yeah. It's
so
not a pumpkin car.
It doesn't look like a pumpkin car.
It's a dark
I wouldn't have liked that at all. It's really dark. It doesn't even look orange.
That's why I'm wearing the shirt. I'm trying to force my brain to wire
lighten up.
Not working. It's not
so
working.
Teresa asked a good question. Are anomalies the same thing as orbs?
Yes.
100%,
yeah.
huh?
Yeah.
You don't think
it's just another word for...
You think so, huh?
Yeah. It's just another word.
All right.
But anyway, rust. I don't know about rust. But anyway, so Jason's going to be on, and know who else is going to be joining us again? Probably in the next week or two. For those of you who've been watching us for a while, you might remember the name Judy Hartke.
Oh, I love Judy.
I like Judy a lot. Judy's interesting to talk to, and what she does is
oh my God,
spirit
Steve.
art. Is that what she calls it?
Yeah.
Spirit art. She actually doesn't just do readings, she does sketches. And the last 2 times she has been on, she's done 2. She does a regular reading, like a regular medium would do, and then she draws the spirit that's connected to you.
It's like an etching, right?
Yeah. And then she does a past life reading.
That's amazing how she does that.
Where she tells you who you were in a past life, kind of where you lived, and she draws the actual
from your past
environment,
life, right?
Yeah, where she sees you in your past life. And every time she's done it, it's been cool. She's done it for us. And so we're going to pick 2 people. So if you're interested, send me a message through the page here, either or, be open to either of them, because there's only 1 spot for each. So she'll do 1 regular reading where someone who's connected to you,
Kathy.
And another one where it's a past life one. So I like Judy. Judy's got a real interesting story. We'll kind of go over that again. But
very unique individual.
And what's really funny, and I do believe that I am developing a sort of psychic ability in my old age, because this is exactly what happened. I reached out to her last night. She got back to me today, and she says, I'll show you the message afterwards. You must be psychic. She's like, I literally wrote on a notepad to reach out to you about doing another show together. And she showed me a picture of her calendar with a note on it.
It's called synergy.
Right?
He just
and one other time, true story, I told Brianna, Nicole's daughter, that she was going to win the lottery. And what happened? Next day, she did a scratch off, $2. You're welcome.
Oh my
I
God.
do have powers. They're in there somewhere.
Steve just said he got a warning because he put the word stalking John Ruggiero, and he got a warning.
If Steve Barry is a known stalker, so he should be afraid. He's a real weirdo, that guy. Anyway, so that's what we're doing, and I'm trying to set up some other live investigations. You know, we have weeks in between that I'd like to get into some places and do some live investigations again.
Yeah.
That's just a matter of working them out. We're actually, is that the Sharon Phillips?
Sharon!
No way. Sharon, where have you been? How are you? Good to see you on our page,
really
Sharon. It's been forever. We need to talk.
Nice.
Nikki was at the event as well. Nikki is right there. Last night I saw spirit orbs again. Got to be careful with this spirit orb stuff. Doing better. Good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm interested in.
Oh, we got to get Deb.
Also, about again the Creeper Gallery. I'm not sure about this week with the Creeper Gallery. Maybe I mean if it's not this week, it'll be definitely next week. But I'm not 100% sure about this week about doing the Creeper Gallery. I want to go into a building again with just us and do a live investigation. I had a decent time at the Clark Municipal Building. I'd like to get into a building and do something again. And
that building took me by surprise. I gotta be honest with you.
It was different.
Yeah, I was shocked.
And I'd like to again, like the mine thing was fun. Going in there and just filming and it was more fun for some than it was others. But I'd like to do that again too. I do like, you know, just going into a building and seeing what's there and filming it. Yeah, I enjoy it too, Kathy. It's a lot. I guess fun is the word because we just get to go and just go in different places. And some of the more interesting times that I've had when we were investigating together, I just remember almost getting pushed down the stairs in one building and weird thing happening. And it's great when it happens on camera because you're just like, you know, in the moment. And you may have to put your curse filter on because if you have young kids and you're watching it on the TV, they don't want to learn the bad words that Chris Theriot is capable of spewing. Normally that's saved for the car, but every now and then on the investigation.
When I get scared. When something
not to
scares.
mention me, but interested in others.
She's interested in watching.
Yeah, there's the word, Donna. You got it right there. Ask Jason. No, we don't talk about that place anymore. Sorry. That's another place we don't talk about anymore. So
that was the school of Decray, art school of Decray. That's what you're talking about.
Oh right? yeah, I missed that building too. They don't allow people in there anymore. It's one of the. I missed that place though. That was a cool place.
That place was really haunted too.
But we're again just today. I was talking to one person from a historic society who gave me numbers of another. So, I mean, there's potential for, you know, new places and new investigations.
Yeah, I was listening to John have his conversation with this person, and you know, John called, and it was supposed to be about this one county, and all of a sudden it just spidered off to, and I got this guy. So this guy is just like, he's like, and I know these people, and I know this person, and this place is really cool. And just like it was just fun to hear somebody get so excited about what we do and what John was talking about, and he was like so on board, and he said, not only am I on board, let me see what I can do.
I mean, you know, stuff like that, and that guy at the Target, you know, that stuff is really cool. You know, you always wonder, like, that takes you back. You know, we're just walking around together, and this guy points at us, and he's like, "Paranormal, I love the stuff you do. I love the stuff you do." And I know he was pointing at me. I mean,
well, I'll be honest with you. You know, like I saw his face, but when that guy, he's walking and John hadn't registered yet, and I see this young guy in his 20s, and he's like pointing, and he's going like he's like this, and he's got a big smile, and I was just like, why is this guy pointing and doing this? Like, you know. And then all of a sudden he goes, I watch your lives, and he's pointing. And John goes like, yeah, and just like, and he's walking and he's talking to John, and I'm just like, okay.
So another thing I want to remind you all again, we have to kind of go through this every once in a while about New Jersey Paranormal Events.
Yeah.
If you see an event posted and you haven't seen it on our Facebook page, um, make sure it's us. If it's us you're interested in coming to the event, because there are other groups out there that have New Jersey Paranormal in their name in some way, shape, or form. I'm getting emails from people asking me for tickets for events that are not ours. So just make sure if it's our events that you're interested in attending, or if you think it's one of our events, either just reach out or look on our page, this page, to see if it's listed anywhere. Just take a scroll up or down and make sure it's us, because like I said, there are a lot of groups out there um, that have New Jersey Paranormal in their name. And some people get confused because it says New Jersey Paranormal something, and then they think it's just us, and it's not us. So make sure it's us if that's who you're interested.
Hey, Brianna. I just saw it. A little bird told me you were talking about me, John. See, about the lottery.
Yeah. Well, you know who the little bird was. It was her mom. She's been watching. Any expo updates? No.
We're working hard on it.
We're waiting on a few things to happen before we make any more announcements as far as people. We're waiting on one big person to say whether they're coming or not, but I don't know at this point. If not, then we're going to sign one or two more people, but it's still in flux. We got a lot of time between then and now to work stuff out. So we're working on it. Believe me, it doesn't stop. It never stops. So no, we're looking forward to it. It's a long way away. It seems like a long way away, but then again, the days go by so fast, and that's the thing too. I talk about, doing events every couple of weeks, which is the schedule I made is like that all the way up until we hit September. Once we hit September, it's every weekend because you get into the fall and people love ghost hunting in the fall. But like during the year, it's every 2 weeks. And those weeks in between, I would like to go and investigate somewhere and do something else and, stuff like that. But there's also needs to be time for us to go do stuff too, and believe me, that's important to me too. I wanted to make sure after last year, just doing so much, oh, the nurse is here. All right, Sharon, we got to talk, Sharon. It's been a while.
Good night, Sharon. It's good to see you. Really good.
I tell her only come out at night in October. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's true. But, even people like approach me about like investigating cemeteries. Like that's been more common where like these places will contact me and say, well, we have a cemetery by our building. Do you do something? I'm like, no, I don't. I've done cemeteries and I don't begrudge anybody else doing them as long as you're respectful. But no, there's too much going on out there to go into a cemetery. Continue what you guys do. Yeah. And that's, again, here's the thing about the paranormal field. I'm not going to get too deep into this. You guys on your end, you guys who are watching, unless you're in a group, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're not in a group and you're not involved in the field, then you really don't have an idea. But the paranormal, much like life, all other life, there's good and bad. There's people that get along. There's people that don't. There's people that trash people. There's people that don't. We have always tried to kind of just be an island unto ourselves. New Jersey Paranormal kind of has always been that way. We have our friends, our good friends, Pam and Steve, good friends. Bob and Gina, good friends. Taryn, good friend. But, there's others who come and go. And, it's up to you to decide for yourselves who you follow and who you don't follow, who you like. And we would never steer you in either way or badmouth or talk about anybody else, whereas we found out people have done that to us about us. That's up for you to decide. But we see people following people who we don't care for, and we've been burned by, and we've had bad, interactions with.
But that's our
But
experience.
that's us. That's always us. We watch, we listen, we know who these people kind of really are, but we would never say anything because, like she said, that's
It's
been our
experience.
interaction and experience with them. But just, the good ones are out there. It's true, but there's a lot of bad ones too. Just, be careful. You know, and you'll learn for yourself, I guess.
No, maybe the greatest is to enlighten yourself and not take everything at face value. Really, really delve into.
No, that's true. The truth always needs to be reveals itself, but that's not always the case, Brianna. Some people are really good at hiding who they are, really. But again, that's why we're kind of real protective in who we introduce to you guys, who we have on here. We weren't always that way in the past. We introduced some people that turned out to be not who we thought they were, and I don't want to go into, but we're kind of more careful about that now. We really want to kind of get an idea who these people are, what they represent, before we kind of just put them out there,
Yeah.
And again, you see the two of us. We don't go on any other podcasts or any other things, but not because we don't want to.
No, there's some great people out there.
We're yeah, but we're more. I should speak for myself. I can't speak for her, but I love the idea of what we've been able to do through the years, and that last event was a prime example of what I'm talking about. Community. There are people that attend our events that are friends, almost old friends now, and even when they meet people from like last year, some have been for years, other have been to like last year, like Tracy, Joe, and Tommy. They're right in there with the Kathys of the world that have been coming for a few years, and Nicole and Brianna, and so many others. Donna Schultz, fairly new, a couple of years, maybe a year or whatever. But it's not just us; it's you, and I like that idea of the community. But I just want you to be careful of, it's okay to be part of the community and get along and whatever. Just be careful of not everybody is who they seem to be. So I like the idea of having the community and growing the community, and us having these conversations about everything and anything, and then showing you our ghost adventures. Wait, I get sued for that. But I like that idea because we brought you in on everything. We talk about personal stuff, about our lives. I mean, this is who we are. We're together. She's a pain in the ass. I love her.
Oh, I'm a big one.
Huge. But
I'm nice till I'm not.
But and like I said, in this field, it gets really bad and really sometimes. And we try to insulate ourselves and just do what we do, and hang out with you guys. And
well, I'm gonna be honest. For me, it's like we have such amazing support from amazing people. People who have become really good friends, and I know so much about each and every one of you because you opened up yourselves to me and let me into a lot of your personal stuff, and that affects me. And when you get to me and you have my heart, and I feel for you, or connect to you, I hate if there's anybody out there that causes you harm. He'll tell you. He just said to me the other day. He goes, "I know when your level of whatever is going higher and higher because you start getting angry and angry when I start talking to you about certain things with paranormal stuff." And it's true. I do. I'm very protective of the people who follow us, and very.
yeah, but again, it's like anything else. You get so interested in the field, you want to venture out, you want to see other things and other people and whatever. But just be careful.
Sorry, Linda.
Some people aren't who they appear to be in this field, and there's a lot of dirty dogs. Like Kathy mentioned, it seems like lately, within the last couple of years, 2-3 years, maybe more, it's just gotten really, really bad. And again, we insulate ourselves. Whatever we do as far as our events, the expo, it's just us doing it with our friends, all of our volunteers at the expo, were people through the township who we're friends with. We've known them for years now. And you guys, how many of you guys were there helping with us? You're part of this. And I love that. It's what I've always wanted. And I want to grow it and keep it growing and
but
keep it growing.
It's not even just the connection that happens with us and with the groups that come. It's watching them connect to each other and help.
I don't really care about that.
Yes, he does. I mean, I watched the support, and I'm not going to spill the beans because it's not my right to do it.
I'll do it.
But no, you can't. But a person is going through something, and it was like everybody surrounded that person with the wagons and just giving support and going up and giving rides and picking up and going to just the support of being there for someone.
No. See, Para Unity, again, and I'm the one who named the expo this, so Para Unity is not a reality. It's just not. But there is unity within good people. And unfortunately, there is unity within the bad people as well.
And there's an understanding that people are people, and sometimes we let you down, or sometimes we disappoint, or sometimes that we have a misunderstanding. That we're not talking about any of that crap. We're talking about people who do stuff that are just nasty and vile behind the scenes. You don't know.
I ain't talking about. I'm just saying there is unity within the good people.
There are
enough, and that's what you got to kind of hitch your wagon to. Enough of the good people to where the bad people don't even matter. You let them do what they do. Like I said, karma will sort that out for them because it always blows up on them somehow, some way. And if you can meet 2, 3, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100 good people, then you got it, man. And you stick with that and you roll with that and you hope to grow it, and that, more good people kind of are attracted to it, and away you go.
I think it's tough out there and getting tougher because people are hurting so much and suffering in so many different ways. And I think that's why people hit out and do what they do.
No, I think some people are just...
Some people are, but I think it's also because it's like when you're unhappy and you're just whatever and you just step all over people because you're miserable and you can't have anybody else be happy because you're miserable. I think that's a kind of, like cabin fever.
I think some people are just assholes. Sorry.
Well, there's that too.
Some people are opportunists, agenda based, and just
we know you do, Donna. You've done it. You're very you again. John and I felt so bad that you had to deal what you did with that night.
Several of your events now go way too fast, and I'm getting old. I've attended several on many things I loved about it. Every time I leave the event, I say it was a really great group. And there you go, Veronica. That is the key. And we've watched it and have been part of it. And where we've watched new people come in alone or one or two, and they're like looking around like as the other people are like, hey, yeah, this and this, this is gonna happen, and it's great. They're nice people, and and they kind of like bring them into the fold right away. And I love that.
I do too.
Because it should be about community. It should never. We're not, like I said, when that guy said what he said in Walmart, it's a really cool kind of like momentary, like, oh, cool, we're doing something right. This guy likes what we do, but never in a million years will we ever, and I've said this a million times and I'll say it till we end New Jersey Paranormal, we will never ever think that we're better than anyone or that we
deserve more.
Or we don't appreciate every bit of what we've got in all of these years. We appreciate it every day, and we try to show that,
Yeah.
I drag Chris out here when she thinks she's highfalutin and doesn't want to do a live. I'm like, get your butt out there.
No, what his words tonight were, because I've been suffering from a really bad headache.
Oh,
he says to me, he goes, you can't go out there looking like that. You need to go. You need to go get yourself together.
See, this is what she does. Does that statement make me look good or bad?
You were joking with me when you
walked in. I would, but that's not how you presented it. I was joking, saying we're doing a live.
He walked in. He was like, "We're doing."
That's not the way you presented it. Just like, again, I'm getting my glasses. Let me tell you the real Christerian. I'm getting my glasses, and I wanted a different pair of glasses. I wanted plastic, like Zach Baggins, thick rim black glasses. So I'm trying them on. I like the way they looked on me. I wanted to try something different. But what did I do? Because I'm with someone and I want her to like the way I look. I said, what do you think of these or these? She says, I like these better because I like the ones you usually wear. I like the way they look on you. And I was even like, yeah, you don't like these at all? And she's like, no, I like the ones. So what happened?
But I didn't just say that. I said, but if you like the other ones, then stick with them.
So then we're up at the counter and we have our prescriptions and we're picking the glasses we want. And which ones do I bring with me? The ones that she likes the way they look. So I said to the lady, I'm getting these. And she said, what about the other ones you said you liked? I said, she likes the way these look. I want her to look at me and I want her to like the way I look. That matters to me more. The two young women that were there went, "Aw!" And what does this one do? Because she saw that some people thought I was a nice guy, and I said something really nice. She said, "Yeah, he doesn't tell you about when he calls me Paulie Walnuts from The Sopranos because I have gray on the side of my hair." She had to bring me right back down, which is what she just did 2 minutes ago. Hates when I get a compliment.
Somebody needs to ground him.
Somebody
needs to ground him. That's all I got to say.
And if you look at our social media pages, our private pages, any of you would know how many times I post about her and how much I care about her. And I put pictures of us together. How many of those are on that page?
I'm not on social media, hardly ever. And that's not the real world. This is the real world.
I say it here in the real world. I say it on my social media.
Every person who knows me knows exactly how I feel about you and what you mean.
There we go.
I don't need to plaster and scream it from the top of the mountain.
You have to read her mind. There it is. There it is. There it is.
There isn't a single soul out there that doesn't know what you mean to me.
Whatever. Okay.
I don't need to post a picture.
To say it.
From you can post a picture. Others... Picture doesn't say everything.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This does, sir.
Sure.
This is reality.
Oh yes, Paulie Walnuts.
This is the real deal.
He told me to make myself look good. Do you want me to
get you a cardboard of me and sit it next to you? Would that be better?
I'll get my cardboard of Zach Baggins. Would help me just as much.
Wendy goes ding ding ding.
I'm just telling you guys. You think Miss Nicey Nice?
I am nicey nice.
Nicey nice.
But
trust me.
Like I said, someone's got to bring the little helium balloon back down to Earth.
Okay.
The string must be tied.
I wish I could have videotaped that because literally, it is almost Valentine's Day.
Every day is Valentine's Day. I have him. He's with me.
And now she's going to try to make up for it.
I said this to him 2 weeks ago.
You hear this crap now? Anyway, so again, I don't know. As much as I like the idea of going to the Creeper Gallery, and I may change my mind by tomorrow or Wednesday. I don't know, because I really do enjoy going there and investigate, especially when the objects give back like that. That death mask, that was cool.
That was surprising.
And we had done that before.
And I got a smell off it last time where I couldn't.
Yeah, but that was it. There really wasn't a whole lot of stuff around that.
That one took us by surprise.
Yeah, I mean, that was. I love it when that happens.
I got scared when that whatever was
the chain
and the cross, the crucifix started swinging back and forth and totally went crazy. It was insane. Scared the crap out of me. Yeah, it was good, but it wasn't.
And those were the times where. Again, when I'm in there alone and that sort of thing happens, and I have to, I shut off the live streams and then it's just me, you know. And what I do immediately, I'm a big background noise person. I can't be in silence ever. Can I be in silence no matter what I'm doing? So
not even here.
As soon as we finish the live stream, or I finish the live stream and I'm by myself, I take my phone. I plug it into the charger and I put on YouTube and I just have something running. Well, I collect all my stuff. I put it in my cases, put everything back where it needs to be, shut off the lights. And I need that because I don't want to hear what's going on around me anymore. Once we're done communicating, I'm done. Unplug, No more banging, no more noises, no more voices. Stop. Done. I'm out. Uh, I'm the same, need noises. Yeah, I got too busy of a brain. But that mask, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it when we almost did it the time before, but we ran out of time when we only did 2 objects. This time,
yeah,
I think there's 1 or 2 or 3 new things in there now. I saw Donna post about something, but I said I'm like, Chris, I want to do something potentially negative.
Yeah, you warned me.
We've done too much of the happy. This was a doll that belonged to Mary Sue, who lived to 80 years old, and blah 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 blah. No, I need a little meat on the bone. What's up, Roger? Death mask was interesting. I wonder who died. It was made for me too.
Well, was it definitely a death mask? Yeah, that's what it was, huh? It's not a ritual mask or anything?
Well, somebody wrote that to me afterwards, that it was made after someone died to with the passing on.
So what's that thing? Yeah, but what's that thing that what you guys couldn't see that we couldn't pull out?
I mean, the happy's okay, but every week, I don't like the happy every week. When we run into,
no, he likes.
Okay, here's 2 happy, and then we come back the next week, and here's 2 more happy. I mean, it's fine talking to those people and interacting with them, but yeah, I need a possession. Nicole. That's what I need.
I think he's possessed all the time.
Nothing's cooler. Nothing sticks in your memory more than the unusual, scary stuff. I enjoyed. What was that? I enjoyed Crystal's talk the other night. Oh, so many magic rocks in the Sterling Mine. You are surrounded by rock. Also, what is that? The store or traveling boat they take on. Investigate. We almost did that again, Nikki. The voodoo doll. We almost did it again. It was there. She actually suggested it. She's like, "What about this?" And I'm like, "We did that before, and that was not good."
Well, what I wanted to say before was like that mask that we did. What we didn't show you and couldn't do is like when you put your hand in the inside, you pull out like this thing that like came down over the neck and it hung like a drape. Remember that? And that was, we didn't pull that out.
I'm looking at Nikki's comment, and all I can think about is Nikki was
the Holy Mother.
Nikki's telling me to investigate all this possessed and creepy stuff, and yet we did it live in front of people, and she's dousing people with holy water, because we had the Martha Margaret doll. Oh, I'll never forget that as long as I.
We had that. Didn't we have that voodoo doll too?
This match were made a likeness of the person who died to bury them, and I think Anne was the one who reached out to me and told me that. But again, there's energy attached to that for sure.
Oh yeah,
for sure, and. Those are the memorable ones. I don't remember a lot of the happy ones. I remember.
He doesn't. I have to tell him. I have to remind him.
I remember the censors being really bad.
Those were
the
really
black
bad.
cape being really bad.
Yep.
I remember the old Bible being really bad. The curse box being really bad. Those are the ones that I remember because they make me nervous.
Tess's Ouija board, was she painted on the back, where you were nasty.
Those things make me nervous. That's why I remember them, and I'm really leery about approaching them again because I don't like what happened the first time. It did have energy. I had a lot of energy, and that's why I like going in there and doing those things, because it's like meeting a different person every week and not knowing what the person's capable of. It really is the truth. Here they are in front of you, invisible, spirit form, energy. What is that energy capable of? Affecting you, affecting the environment, moving things, causing harm to you, just being a nice person, have a casual conversation, all of those things.
Yeah, or just giving notes. But the doll.
Pedal clown. Remember that one too.
Oh God, the doll that we just did. And where she died at that young age from her throat, from the medicine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's gorgeous, gorgeous woman.
And to think that again, something so strange.
And she said my daughter's name, which was her mother's name. I didn't even. The cool part is, and why I got so excited was because I didn't say my daughter's name. When I said, my daughter's name is the same as your mom's name. Can you tell me what that name is? And she didn't say my daughter's nickname. She said Rebecca. My daughter doesn't go by Rebecca. She doesn't like Rebecca. She likes Becca.
Again, we should do a best of reel one time on Creeper Gallery. Odd investigations or scary investigations. Those of you who have been watching us a long time, something something fish. Can't remember his first name. You guys probably know better than I do. It was a gnome, a garden gnome. And here's the story. I don't remember the whole thing, but I remember the guy was in jail. I think for assault. Don't remember though. Curtis Fisher. And he got out on probation. Something happened where the police were called to his house. He basically barricaded himself in the house, and for whatever reason, he started lighting fireworks in the house, set the house on fire, and he died in the house, right? I think.
Yeah, the house blew up.
The house blew up, and he died in the fire. Well, we're talking about him being put in jail for certain assaults, and we're watching this SLS figure do something that we had never seen an SLS figure do before. Let's call it self-gratification.
Inappropriateness.
That's about what I'll call it. And it stood in one spot doing this for a while. And we were trying our best, like somebody
keep yourself composed,
calling a sports game to try to describe to people what Curtis was doing on the SLS without actually saying what he was doing.
Taryn wants you to tell the conversation about you being the diaper baby.
Oh, but that was one of the ones that that I'll always remember, because it was complete silence between the four of us. We're like, what is he doing? What is he doing? And we didn't know what to say at that time, because early on in the early days of the Creeper Gallery, people were really over-analyzing our investigations. And again, this is something that happens with social media. People are going to have an issue with this or that, or you see this, you do that, they're going to read too much into it. And there was a lot of that going on in the beginning. The Ouija board,
Tess,
that was a Ouija board of, it was a Ouija board on the front. On the back was a beautiful painting of a woods scene.
Thank you, Taryn.
And the story was that this girl Tess owned the Ouija board, and to prove that it wasn't an evil thing, she painted a beautiful painting on the back of it.
Yeah.
And supposedly the spirit who she was connecting with on the Ouija board, one of them got angry that she did this, and she started hearing voices in her head, and she killed herself.
Yeah.
And I've never been more angry during an investigation than when I handled that board. I almost broke it. Donna would have killed me. I almost smashed it right over my knee because I was so angry.
He was nasty that night.
But that was different. And what Taryn's referring to as the baby demon story.
Yeah, it was cut down. You're correct, Lauren.
We had done an interview with Taryn for something, and whenever we get to talking about origins with paranormal people, they go look up anybody's bio. I don't care who they are. You know, Jason, Zach, anybody. They've always got this cool story about, when I was a kid, I saw this thing. Kalani has one too. He was on the battlefield and he thought it was a reenactor. I don't have any of those stories. So I said, we're going through the interview, and I told my story, which is very boring, which is I was just afraid of death. That's why I got into the paranormal. I'm not religious, so I needed something that made sense in this brain for the afterlife. Why? Why would it even exist other than the Bible and blah, blah, blah? So she comes up, tells her version of her origin story as having traumatic experiences when she was younger with an entity. So I didn't want to be upstaged. So I told Taryn I want to change my story to where when I was a baby, I was possessed by a demon and my eyes were red and I would poop fire and it would actually melt through my diaper.
So
that was my
diaper baby.
That was my baby demon diaper story. That's my origin. So,
oh,
she didn't write it down though, which I was offended by. It didn't appear in the article, which I wasn't happy about. But that was my origin story. I need to come up with a cool one. That's the best I could do. They do. They all have these cool stories. I don't, but that's what we learned. That you and I share the same exact feeling about that, which I was going to ask you. Come on, talk about with me. Yeah, sure. I mean, I am always comfortable with Taryn talking about it. I make no apologies or excuses for what I believe in and how I believe and why I believe. Hey, Rachel. It's black and white when it comes to me. And through 20 something years of doing this, it is grayed big time. And that's the way it's supposed to be with the paranormal. You're never supposed to. I don't think as humans we're not designed to know the whole thing. We're not going to until we transition, and then it all comes.
I also
the puzzle
think that
is
what we start believing in, or we take that this is what's going to happen, or this is what I believe in, gradually changes as we get older and we start exploring and looking, and we question more.
Well, my analogy is, again, It's a Wonderful Life. Remember, what was the angel's name? Clarence. Remember Clarence in the beginning? The angels could see everything clearly when it comes to the past of George Bailey and where he was now. And Clarence, because he didn't have his wings, he couldn't see anything. It was all blur. I think we as living beings have the blur. I don't think we've transitioned. I think we can only see so much of the big picture. And once we transition and get plugged into the universal, whatever everything means, then it becomes the answers come. That's my opinion. And I don't think we're going to get them as living beings. I just don't. I don't think our brains are like. I was watching this video. I know we're going a little long here. People were talking about ayahuasca. It's mushrooms or something that you take, and it's a, I can't say the
hallucinogenic.
Yeah, and I was watching these videos about people doing this in the Amazon and out in the desert. You have to do it like in the forest to get the whole experience. And they were all talking about how you detach from reality. You go to dark places, you see things. It's like such a spiritual experience. But the plant itself and the drug is a hallucinogenic drug that is going to change all the chemical and the wiring in your brain and really mess you up to where your brain just can't lock in. But maybe that's what it's like. You know, we're so focused on what's in front of us, what our eyes see, what our ears hear, what's around us every day, and what our version of normal and living and life is, that
it's beyond our concept.
Yeah, we don't know anything beyond that. Who knows?
I'm okay with that. I don't need to have all the answers.
I would love to try.
Really?
I would love to try.
You do
ayahuasca. I would try all that stuff to see what the experience was.
No.
I would. Maybe again, we'll do that stuff.
Then you learn that.
Maybe that'll be an event where we all get together and we do ayahuasca and we see what happens.
And Don is pointing out a good point. What if it's just freeing your mind? Maybe it's setting free. We put restrictions on our brain, and this is opening it up.
See, Diana, and that's why I'm not part of any kind of magic rock or chakra discussions, because I really don't believe in any of that stuff. I just don't. That's just me.
I don't like being out of control. So I wouldn't.
Yeah, let's get together, Nikki. We'll get a whole group together. We'll all get arrested because God knows what we'll be doing when we're on those drugs. But we'll have a tale to tell.
A tale to tell.
Kathy's in. Regression.
Well, I'll be the designated driver then, because I'm out.
Regression is another thing. We've talked about that before. Past life regression, meditation, hypnosis, and all that. I wouldn't do it. I'm afraid to be hypnotized, just because I am. But I've seen it live, and it was weird for sure.
Luann says she'll bring the mushrooms.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm on the sidelines. I'm with you, Wendy. We'll watch these fools. It's like watching people who are drunk and you're sober, right? Be entertained. We'll video it all.
YouTube's gonna arrest me for like starting a cult of people that are gonna do mushrooms and
Heather goes, I'll spritz you all with holy water.
We'll put our Nikes on and we'll wait for the comet to come by together and see what happens.
Oh my god.
Anyway. All right, guys. Maybe, like I said, maybe a creeper, maybe not. You'll know within the next few days. But for sure, Jason Hawes will be on Thursday, 8 p.m. right here. Get your questions ready. We're going to talk about all this stuff and more. We're going to really go deep dive with Jason about a lot of his old cases and a lot of his beliefs and all that other stuff. And there may be a creeper in between because we don't have anything to do this weekend. So I may get my investigation fix by going to the creeper some point. But that's it. I know we were all over the place today, guys, but thank you again.
Okay.
We preach about community. You guys are how this happens and why it exists. So thank you all again for your support, for watching us and coming to our events, and couldn't do it without you.
Have a good night. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Please, I'll say this till my dying breath. Be kind to each other. It matters and it makes a difference. Good night.